Alright, what's going on guys? My name is Omega and welcome back to another Apex Legends video. So in today's video we have some big things to go over, including developers discussing a huge change for ranked that would basically require new players to spend money before they can actually play ranked. So I'll provide some more context on why they're talking about doing this in a second. We also have a big bug for Gibraltar, which I'll show you guys, as well as some community feedback over the Dark Horse comics that just came out a couple days ago. This isn't the best feedback, so just keep in mind that there might be some negativity in this video. But to start off, we do have a tweet from Respawn that they made yesterday going over the new patch. Obviously, as you guys know, they added the Pride badge and they also re-enabled the leaver penalties for arenas. Now, I've heard some reports of people who are still leaving games after the game ends and getting penalized for this, so there's a chance that this might be turned off again, but for now it looks like it's back up, so try not to leave arena games, even though there's going to be plenty of people who do that already. Alright, now let's talk about this pay to play ranked scenario. So to give you guys context on why developers are even discussing this, as you guys know, Apex has had a huge problem with cheaters, hackers, and DDoSers in high-level ranked matches. And you know what developers have been doing in the past is just banning these accounts and hoping that they stop doing it. Unfortunately, when a hacker or a cheater gets banned, they usually just make a new account and go back and do the same exact thing. So right now, Respawn is looking for ways to permanently stop this cheater situation. They don't want to deal with it anymore. And what developers are talking about is doing something similar to what CSGO has done in the last couple of weeks. So this is coming from Ryan Rigney on Twitter. Keep in mind, he is the director of communications over at Respawn. His tweet said, CSGO is now charging for access to ranked, among other things. I imagine this would make it much more costly for cheaters who get banned to make a new account and continue cheating the system. What do you think? Is charging for ranked a good idea or a bad idea? And surprisingly, looking at these results, it currently has 42,000 votes. Almost 50% of the people who voted do think that this is a good idea. He also made a separate tweet saying, alternatively, what if buying one battle pass got you access to ranked forever? Now, according to this specific poll, almost 60% of the voters think that this would be a good idea. Now, there's obviously some good things that could happen from this and also some bad things. You know, the pros of adding a pay to play in ranked is it might stop a couple cheaters, from making new accounts, especially if they get banned multiple times every single month. Depending on who you are as a person, you might not want to spend $10 just to continuously cheat. However, I do see a couple more cons than there are pros. My first con that I see is that new players are 100% going to get turned off from this feature. Imagine you first log on to Apex, you grind a couple public matches, you're ready to actually start your ranked journey, and then you see you have to spend $10 in order to buy the battle pass just to be able to play ranked. I could imagine a lot of people thinking that it was just a stupid idea. Many people probably wouldn't even know why that was added in the first place. And it would also punish people who have never bought a battle pass before, because I know there are plenty of people out there who just don't spend money, whether it's because they're younger and they just don't have money, or they just don't like spending money in video games. They would not be able to play ranked after this was changed. It could also just make hackers move over to public matches. If they really don't care about spending the extra money, they might just decide to have fun and ruin games in these public lobbies. And also, I imagine that many of these hackers probably have jobs or at least some form of income. If you are that determined to ruin other people's experience, spending $10 is probably not a big deal for you. Even if you just set aside $100 a month to make new accounts, they would still be able to make 10 new accounts every single month. Simply Ashton, who is another awesome Apex content creator, made a good point on this thread, saying that many people who cheat also get paid to boost people's accounts on ranked. So this is kind of like a side business for a lot of people. The whole reason they are hacking is just so they could boost other people's accounts, and obviously they're getting paid to do this, so $10 per account might not be a big deal, especially if people are already making money from boosting other people's accounts. Now, personally, I think one way that this could actually work is instead of spending real money, you actually spend legend tokens to play ranked. Because if it costs legend tokens to play ranked, hackers would still have to grind to a certain level to get the amount of legend tokens they need to play. New players would also have the same opportunity to grind to that same point, and once they got enough legend tokens, they would be able to play ranked whenever they want, and they they would never have to worry about buying a ranked pass ever again. Now, iLoot Games also brought up a good point, saying that two-factor authentication seems like a better idea to start with. Ryan Rigney did respond to this, saying barriers for young or low income are a good call out for sure. We've looked into two-factor authentication as a ranked requirement and are convinced it's too easy to spoof, saying that virtual phone numbers make it very easy to get past this. So let me know your guys' feedback about this down in the comments below. Do you think having a system where you pay one time to get access to ranked forever, would that help with the cheater situation, or would it hurt more regular players rather than solve the issue? Now, I also wanted to show you guys this bug currently happening with Gibraltar. Keep in mind, this doesn't happen all the time, but I did manage to reduplicate it a couple times in the firing range. So what this bug does is that sometimes when Gibraltar is near an arc star, he'll take almost double the amount of damage than he's normally supposed to. So as you guys can see in this first clip, this is what's supposed to happen when Gibraltar has a red Evo shield and is sitting next to an arc star. He takes about 125 damage, but for some reason, in very certain situations, Gibraltar will take around 180 damage from a single arc star, which basically is almost one-shotting a legend just from a single grenade. Now, I'm still not 100% sure what's causing this issue. I also tried testing this with Caustic just to see if this was possibly a problem with the fortified legends. However, I didn't notice anything different when I tested it with Caustic. I also made a tweet about this on my Twitter just so that more people knew about it, and Respawn Pav, who is one of the developers at Apex, did reply saying that he's already looking into this, so I'm sure it's an issue that's going to be fixed very soon. But if you guys are playing Gibraltar, it'd probably be best to avoid arc stars for the time being, and on the other hand, if you're playing against Gibraltar, carry as many arc stars as you possibly can. I'm sure one-shotting a Gibraltar would be very satisfying for many people, but again, this bug probably won't be around for that much longer. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about in today's video is many fans being upset over the Overtime comic created by Dark Horse Comics that was released a couple days ago. So the reason why many people were upset with this is, first off, they were saying that the artwork as well as the story was super lazy and did not line up with their expectations, considering that this is something that you actually pay real money for. They were also saying that the characters in the comic did not match up with how the characters act and talk in the lore. If you guys want to see some pictures of what they look like, we do have some photos right here. We got one of Bangalore looking all goofy, and as well as Crypto and Revenant. Many people saying that Revenant doesn't really have a mouth in the lore. Not 100% sure if that's true. There's also some drama between fans and one of the artists who actually works at Dark Horse. So on their Instagram page, fans were bringing up valid critiques of the comic book, saying how it doesn't really line up with the characters, doesn't really line up with the story. However, the artist was having some very rude responses to these fans, in which he was talking about all of the money that he specifically made after he got a raise for making this comic. So he was basically ignoring all of the critiques. Some of them were obviously like people trolling, just trying to be assholes, but others were actually offering, solid criticism on how this could be improved in the future. And it seems like this guy really only cared about the amount of money he made rather than the quality of the work. So I've not personally read this comic myself, but I don't really care about how the characters look like or how the drawings are. Like, these could be drawn by a 5-year-old and all be like stick figures. It wouldn't really matter to me. What I care about more is the story, and obviously that's personal opinion, but since these comics are canon and they're actually official pieces of lore, I am more interested in how the story goes rather than how the actual artwork looks. Now, if you guys are still intrigued with this comic book and are thinking about whether to buy it, just want to go over some quick reviews that this has currently on Amazon. So one guy gave this a 5 stars, saying, I would consume anything Apex and I enjoyed consuming this. I like Crypto and Mirage a lot, so it did good for me. Now, on the other side, we also have someone who made a 1-star review saying, don't bother, this comic is terrible quality, the art barely resembles the characters, and they're constantly going off model. Clearly, the artist traced promotional Apex material in some of the panels too. The story itself is terrible, the thing is just poor quality and not worth $4 at all. I feel sorry for people who ordered the print version. So like I said, I haven't read this yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick this up for myself, but let me know down in the comments below what feedback you guys have on the Dark Horse comics. If you have read it or if you've just seen these goofy looking pictures of the characters, I definitely think they could do a little bit better, but again, I'm more focused on the story, so as long as the story is good, I really don't have like a huge problem with it. But anyways, that basically concludes today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like below and subscribe to the channel, but I will see you guys all on the next video. Have a great day. Peace out.